It is.
Amazing.
People are walking in the waiting room. I see some familiar names. This is fantastic. This is fantastic. Good morning, Terry. I'm so glad you joined us. Terry is a sustainability consultant that came to mentor the students, and she learned about B Corp just a few weeks ago.
Wow.
And now
Yeah,
she's
it's
all fired
great.
up about the
Great. Yeah.
certification. So thank you for joining us today too.
Yeah, no, I'm excited. I'm excited. Here are the final pitches.
I see our board members also joining us, the organizing committee. Good morning, everyone. Make yourself comfortable. We're going to start. We're still letting people in. So we are
I think
going
we
to start
have,
in a minute.
was gonna say, I think we have the bulk of everyone, but
Okay, shall we start? Again, I don't want to make you suffer more to all our competing teams. So let me start by welcome everyone to this inaugural B Corp case competition final pitches. My name is Maria Ballesteros Sola. I'm a professor at Cal State University, Channel Island, and I'm also B Academics co-founder, and I've been the chair of the membership committee for a few years now. So again, this is a very exciting time. We just started with an idea last summer, and if you're taking entrepreneurship courses, you know what an idea is worth. It's all about execution. But today is the culmination of that execution. And I want to start by thanking all the students that are here and all the faculty, because we will not be here without you. So, what is the plan for today? This is our agenda. We are just briefly going to tell you a little bit about B Academics for some of you that might be like, oh, I just jump into this competition, but who are these people? Of course, sharing some metrics of the reception that the competition have had. I will formally introduce the judges, and then we'll move with the presentations. And we'll have to put you in some breakout rooms for just a minute to be sure that we tabulate all the scorings. And of course, we will announce the winners. So again, fasten your seatbelts. Just to be sure that we start getting to know each other, I will appreciate if you guys can just on the chat put your name, your university, and just tell us if you're a student or maybe faculty or staff. And where in the world are you? Again, we're a global network and we always love to see where our participants are coming from. And I will not be able to monitor the chat, but feel free to make comments, you can react. So that's our safe space. As I said, if you don't know who is this group of people and be academics, we are actually celebrating our 10th year anniversary. And our vision is really to advance academic study, teaching, and practice of this idea of business as a force for good that, of course, B Corp represent. And we ensure that this approach is embedded in every academic institution and empower people like you, our future leaders, to build ethical, inclusive, and resilient ventures. We support system level change, and we do think education allow us to embrace and advance those principles of social and environmental impact across curriculum, research, and practice. And this is an example as a competition of co-curricular activities where you are engaging not only in class, with the case, but now you have an opportunity to connect globally with the students from all over the world that care and embrace this idea of business as a force for good. So kudos to your instructors for, bringing this to your courses. And I know some of you are through clubs in your universities that have been participating. Just some numbers to put it out there. Our network is larger than 2,300 academic, student, and of course, practitioners. We do have a lot of resources for our members. This goes without saying, we are a nonprofit run by volunteers, and we have a membership revenue model where we have individual members, we have institutional members, and of course, a lot of sponsors. You're going to hear about those. And right now, we're working with almost 800 institutions across 67 countries with that unified idea of spreading the word about business as a force for good. So, just to give you again some metrics and some impact, we started working on this last summer. It was just an idea, but then quickly we moved into some of that execution. It started with that faculty workshop where we convinced your professor, like, this is a great idea. And we ran a workshop with 25 instructors. Then we end up with 64 registered teams. When we have our own meetings, we were like, well, if we get to 20 teams, this will be a success. And I have to be honest, I was like, okay, 5 are my teams. And then each of the organizing committee members bring 5, we will be okay, right? And to our surprise, we end up with 64 teams that register. Out of those 64, only 51 submitted, which still is a fantastic number. And that's a total of 177 students from 35 universities and 8 countries. So I don't need to tell you, but this has been highly, highly competitive. Out of 51, we only selected 6 that are part of this final competition. So kudos to everyone that is already a finalist, because you are the top 6 teams out of, again, 51. And just to add metrics, I couldn't even count them, but we have endless hours to get us organized and to get us through here, and a lot of emails. And I'm going to do a lot of shout outs to Rachel Haynes. She's been, running all the back end of the competition, and that has been a heavy, heavy lifting. So thank you, Rachel. We will not be here without you, but we also will not be here without, obviously, our friends from AndCo. Again, we just proposed them this idea, and you need to be a little bit crazy to say, yes, I don't know what this is going to look like, but we want to take the risk. So they are trailblazers, not only in the hospitality and of course, in the B Corp movement in Florida, but they believe that this was worth their time. And we want to say thank you, because as you guys know too well, there will have not been a case without AndCo. So I will formally introduce who is here in the room, but thank you for believing in us. As I said, because we get so many teams, we were like, wow, who are going to be now our judges? So I want to put all the names out there. Some of them are friends, other faculty, instructors. We have people from the case research world, like Michael Goldman from the Case Research Foundation, but they all jump to this call, including some urgent reviewers that jump literally over the weekend. But thank you to that long list of colleagues, because again, they really help us, and some of them last minute. And also kudos to my colleagues in the organizing committees, Saheli, Brooke, Jen, Alan, of course, Rachel. I don't know if you guys are there. You can say hi or in the chat or send us an emoji. But thank you so much for also, believing this was worth your time. And I know how busy you are. And 3 of us, we actually wrote the case. So I also want to recognize Saheli and Brooke for the heavy lifting of writing the case that you guys hopefully enjoy. And I'm sure you did, because you are here. Again, as a nonprofit, we rely heavily in our sponsors. So specifically for these competitions, these are the universities that say, yes, we want to be part of this. We have Drake University, Rider University, Washington and Lee, NC, and DePaul. And we also were fortunate to have Beneficial State Bank, our bank, also a B Corp, super interesting. I'm writing a case about them. So thank you to all of them again for supporting this effort. Are you guys ready to now meet the judges? And again, I'm so glad I'm not a judge today because it's going to be very, very tough. But I'm very pleased, I'm very thankful to introduce Alex Smith. He is the president at AndCo Hospitality. And Alex, this is one of the, I think, the moments where people know more about you that I'm about to say because they have read about your background, right, and the case and your great work. But you are a strategic operator and cultural builder that serves as president of AndCo Hospitality. You have a sharp focus on performance, people, and purpose, and you lead obviously the company day-to-day operations while helping bring the AndCo vision to life across every property and experience. You lead with a practical people-first approach, balancing operational excellence with team empowerment to drive strong results and lasting impact. So thank you so much, Alex, for joining us today. Megan, we have been working very closely. You have read the case a few times. You have, obviously improved it and expanded it, but I want to formally introduce you. And again, the students know more about you that I'm going to say, but you are the Sustainability and Social Purpose Manager at AndCo Hospitality, and you lead here initiative focused on environmental stewardship, community engagement, and mission-driven practices. You oversee the B Corp certification and recertification. Congratulations. Embedding impact into operations and decision making. You are also a bee network leader and active contributor to Florida for Good and the bee tourism. So again, Megan, thank you for being here today, but also for all the months that we have spent, together, getting the case to the finish line. Summer, so it's an honor to introduce Summer Brown. She is the president and board chair of B Academics, and you have served on B Academics since 2017. You are also, because you obviously have a day job, are the executive director of the Institute for Business and Professional Ethics at DePaul University in Chicago. And of course, you are also faculty there. And our last but not least judge, Carson Balding. Again, thank you, Carson, for being here and all the support through the planning. But you are the B Network Program Manager at B Lab, US and Canada, and you support volunteer leaders who help strengthen and grow the B Corp community. Your passion lies in building relationship and creating data-driven processes to activate communities and create a lasting impact. You are a native Texan that now live in Nashville, and you seems to spend a little bit of free time exploring the city, amazing food scene, running on the city many trails and embarking on various side quests, from learning a new language and to taking improv classes. So after reading this, I think I want to, visit Nashville as soon as possible. So again, thank you for the support in the last few months, and thank you for being here today, ready to listen to the pitches. Just as a quick reminder, I think we have been, telling you all through the last days, the judges are going to be using the same rubric. There is no changes. You are familiar with this. This was used in the first phase to score your submission. So same rubric, no changes. And also remember, 4 minutes. So we're going to be very serious about time. So please do not go over. And there will be a 2 minutes for Q&A from our judges. Okay, are you guys now ready? We're right on time because we did a random selections of how the teams are going to be presenting. So this is the order that we will be following. And I want to emphasize, this is not a reflection of how the scores came, but again, we just did the random order just to be sure that, we didn't tell you this in advance, and hopefully you guys are ready. So what I'm going to do now is get out of sharing my screen. Everyone should be able to share a screen. And I want to invite team one, Resi Consulting from Siena University to be the ones sharing the screen and presenting first. Is there any question, any comment? I haven't checked the chat before we start. Just thumbs up. Thumbs up. Is it good? Okay, perfect. So again, 4 minutes. Let me get out of my screen sharing. And please, Resi Consulting, good luck to all the participants. I'll put the timer on my end. And when you guys are ready. Okay.
All right. Hello, judges and audience. We are Reese Consulting, and this is our solution to the 2026 B Corp case competition. No, wait. Is there... You would ask us, how should AndCo achieve its goal of reducing energy consumption by 40% compared to the 2018 baseline? Three prominent issues arise from this: rising utility costs, AndCo's stagnating energy reduction process, and expiring tax incentives. Our solution was strategic solar placements, prioritizing Florida properties and expanding to Colorado. The impact of this is clear, with a 40% reduction goal achieved, 175,000 yearly electricity savings for the asset life, and a 26.97% MIRR. AndCo has already done significant heavy lifting. By 2026, they've reached 29.46% of their reduction goal, but progress has plateaued. The remaining gap is 1.28 million kilowatt hours per year, and the easy wins are gone. They're currently spending 180,000 annually on carbon offsets and RECs just to stay compliant. Money that could be working a lot harder.
There's three headwinds all converging now. Electricity rates are rising, adding real pressure to operating costs. B Corp's V 2.2 framework now requires operational reduction. Offsets no longer count, and the 30% ITC requires construction to begin before July 4th. The window is rapidly closing. So we evaluated 4 paths: status quo, efficiency upgrades, PPAs, and solar expansion. And solar wins. Status quo offset reliance fails V 2.2's operational reduction standard. Efficiency upgrades lack sufficient scale. PPAs transfer the tax benefits to the developer. Solar expansion retains those advantages while providing long-term energy cost insulation. AndCo's most impactful path forward.
And now moving into the strategy, our recommendation is to expand solar penetration to 75% across Florida properties while piloting 15% at Steamboat Springs in Colorado, 527 kilowatts in Florida, 141 at the Fold. We know that 75% is achievable because Indian Shores is already there, and Innisfree Hotels validated the model more broadly, offsetting 50% of annual energy usage with a rooftop array at their Pensacola Beach property. And so for our implementation, the execution would run in 2 phases. Florida permitting and vendor selection would happen now, with construction completing by August, and then the Colorado pilot would follow in October. Right now, the three must-win battles are to secure financing before construction begins, confirm permits and utility interconnection agreements, and get vendors under contract before the July 4th deadline when the ITC eligibility closes.
With this recommendation, we have 5 main risks, with mitigation running in parallel. Vendor selection, permitting, and interconnection applications all begin concurrently in Q1, financing secured before construction starts. In Colorado is structured as a fixed pilot with expansion decisions driven by actual data. When we get to the financials, the numbers are compelling. We see an $829,000 net installation cost after the 30% ITC, a 26.97% modified RRR, and tax shielded payback in year 5. Over 20 years, AndCo generates $3.32 million in cumulative net cash flow and a 389% total ROI. This deployment closes the remaining gap, bringing AndCo to 40% while fully satisfying B Corp's version 2.2's mandatory reduction requirement. But the bigger story is what it means for AndCo's position. By limiting offset dependence and backing performance with audible ecolytics data, AndCo doesn't just meet the standard, it becomes the benchmark for solar-led sustainability in boutique hospitality. Thank you.
Wow. Perfect
Oh, Maria, you're muted. You got too excited.
Sorry, yeah, no, I was just saying, did you hear the alarm? You did perfect on the timing. So right on time, 4 minutes. That was perfect, Resi consulting team. So thank you so much. Now you can relax and listen to our team too. So I'm going to ask to please stop sharing. And I'm going to invite Team Awesome Sauce, what a fantastic branding, from the University of California, Berkeley.
Do we still have questions from the judges for 2 minutes, Maria?
Let me check. Yes, we can have one question. Sorry, I went too fast there. My dear judges, any question for Resi Consulting?
I'll ask a question. Thank you so much for that presentation. Great first start for sure. When you were doing the researching on implementing solar, did you look into any sort of grants or additional funding that could come in to help support these solar installations?
Yes, I can answer that. So, firstly, thank you for the question. We had looked at a substantial number of things, and due to kind of the broad implementation, we had found that it would be more achievable for AndCo to uh, go with a more robust solution as opposed to really trying to leverage themselves financially. Additionally, there was more incentives under the One Big Beautiful Bill Act regarding depreciation, but again, that would require more leverage, and it was not something we wanted to recommend considering their position as a boutique hospitality brand.
Thank you, Megan, for your question, and Randy for the answer. So now, yes, let's invite Team Awesome Sauce. Who is sharing screen? Perfect. Let me know when you guys are ready for the 4 minutes. Ready? Let's go.
Hey everyone, good morning and welcome to Team Awesome Sauce's B Economics and Co case presentation. To begin, I'll walk through our key highlights, scope, and roadmap. At a high level, we shift sustainability from optional to the default for both guests and employees, reinforced through visible tracking. Our recommendations will follow the ECO framework, E for establishing stewards, C for creating guest defaults, and O for offering visible progress through a passport system. Importantly, each builds on infrastructure AndCo already has, increasing feasibility while reducing risk.
To understand why this matters, let's start with the gap. First, 75 to 80% guests are not engaging, and current tools like opt-in donations and QR codes only reach the already converted. Second, staff participation is episodic, driven by events that don't actually sustain behavior. And third, while AndCo already has tools like the stewardship map and badges, they remain transactional. So sustainability exists, but it's not embedded into everyday decisions. And to address this, we have grounded our approach into 3 areas. First, we interviewed fellow B Corps to understand real implementation challenges. Second, there are hospitality case studies to identify what drives participation. And third, behavior science to understand what sustains long-term change. Across all 3, the key takeaway is consistent. Behavior changes when sustainability is built into routines, not added as an extra step.
First, we recommend that AndCo implement sustainability stewards to embed accountability into its daily operations. AndCo already has strong infrastructure, including the learning ladder and Ecolytics, so we can build directly on that. We assign 1 steward per department to own a single team-level metric. This shifts sustainability from individual compliance to shared ownership, which reinforced through career existing development systems. This works for 3 reasons. First, peer accountability drives stronger engagement than top-down mandates. Second, employees at sustainability-focused organizations are more engaged and more likely to stay on. And third, integrating this into systems like the learning ladder ensures sustainability is not seen as extra work, but part of how teams already operate.
Second, we recommend that AndCo redesign the guest experience using default sustainability architecture. AndCo already offers opt-in donations and QR engagement, but these require effort. We flip this to opt-out, making sustainability the default while preserving choice. We also extend this through pre-arrival emails and the existing rewards platform, embedding sustainability into decisions guests are already making. This works for three reasons. First, default design increases participation by lowering friction. Second, framing contributions with clear local impact makes them more meaningful. And third, this aligns with B Lab's environmental stewardship and circularity standards while protecting fair work through safeguards like guaranteed hours. We got this with our interview from Shamini Donna from Donna Inc.
Third, we recommend that AndCo implement a sustainability passport to drive long-term engagement. So AndCo is already developing a stewardship map and badges so we can build directly on that. We'll add a behavioral layer where guests check in, unlock stories, and earn visible badges. This is going to shift sustainability from a one-time action into something a lot more visible, social, and identity-driven. So we mocked up a quick prototype of what this could look like. Guests are going to swipe through on actions based on what they have previously completed, building a personal passport over time. This is going to track badges, progress, and total impact, making sustainability visible, rewarding, and part of their identity. And this is going to work for three main reasons. Next slide. First, identity-based badges are going to sustain engagement longer than external rewards. Second, social proof is going to show how many guests participate and encourage others to follow. And third, this digital passport system is going to increase discovery and drive measurable economic impact for local partners. And this is going to be able to create value for both guests and AndCo ecosystems.
Thank you so much for listening, and let's do eco for AndCo. Do you have any questions?
Thank you. Clap, clap, clap. Thank you so much. Questions from the judges?
Yeah, I have one. Great work, team, on this. Question on, have you thought through a way of how this could tie into a loyalty system, like a points base to the hotel stay on the gamification side?
Yeah, I could take that. This is a great question. I think first, AndCo we already know they have a rewards platform where guests kind of earn points for stays. So we're not really introducing a new system, so that decreases potential risk. We're kind of layering onto that existing infrastructure. So second, we really are trying to expand redemption options to include sustainability specifically based rewards, like for example, using points to unlock different passport experiences that, for example, they can look at like local areas to go and explore or contribute to local sustainability initiatives. And third, we shift from purely transactional loyalty to more identity-based loyalty with kind of badges and visible progress that signal participation and really build emotional connection to the brand. So from an industry perspective, we also did a lot of research that showed us how experiential and kind of more purpose-driven rewards really drive that stronger retention than purely financial incentives. So this turns sustainability into a core part of AndCo's loyalty ecosystem, not a separate feature.
Great.
Excellent. Thank you so much, Team Awesome Sauce. Excellent job. We are going to welcome our Team 3 to be decided from the University of Malaya and Sunway University. And I believe you're joining us from Malaysia. And I don't know what time is it there, but thank you for making the time to join us. Let me know when you guys are ready and I start the timer. Ready?
Yep.
Excellent. Go ahead.
Greetings, judges and AndCo team. We are a team to be decided. We are asked to evaluate water, energy, or behavioral nudges, and we chose to focus on water, but not arbitrarily. While AndCo has achieved a strong 35% reduction in carbon emission, water reduction has stalled at 15% below the 25% expected target. This gap drives limited data visibility and passive guest behavior. So the million question here is, how can AndCo meet stricter B Lab requirements without compromising guest experience? Let's move on to our first solution, which is the IoT Water Intelligence System. It is a network of smart sub-meters that provides real-time monitoring of water usage across guest rooms and operational facilities, allowing you to quickly identify and reduce wastage. At the same time, guest trust is maintained. Only water consumption is tracked with no personal data collected. Building onto that is our second solution, which is the circular water treatment strategy. It captures and treats grey water through a modular on-site system that reuses it for non-potable needs like irrigation and cooling. More importantly, the IoT data from Solution 1 allows you to identify which properties will benefit most, assuring efficiency and targeted implementation. This reduces reliance on fresh water, improves cost control, and strengthens climate resilience. And our very last solution is the AndCo Green Incentive. Guests receive a rebate if they stay below a water usage benchmark enabled by in-room submetering mentioned in Solution 1. The program operates on a self-funding model with a 4% markup on total stays, 2% rewards guests, while the other 2% funds infrastructures and supports the whole IoT system and circular water treatment that is Solution 1 and Solution 2. This approach turns guests from passive consumers to active partners in sustainability. Together, they transform water management into a system where data drives action and guests becomes part of the solution.
Moving on, I will present our timeline and executive summary. Our solutions will be implemented within 3 years with 4 distinct phases. Phase 1 determines the water usage baseline and water loss hotspots by installing smart meters. This creates the data-driven roadmap to determine our pilot test stage. Phase 2 uses IoT systems to optimize laundry, irrigation, and maintenance. Doing so instantly yields 10 to 15% in water reduction. Moreover, such fixes are low capex, meaning early savings. Phase 3 pilot tests our solutions in 1 to 2 properties with structural savings projected to be 8 to 10%. Test cost, reliability, and guest acceptance is assessed here before rolling out to other properties. In the last phase, we roll out our solutions and embed it in the new developments, complying with B Corp standard of quarterly KPI governance. This is how our solutions adhere to the compliance from the start and at the year 3 and 5 benchmark. At the start, adopting IoT resolves ESC 1.3 and 1.4 by tracking water consumption, while our green incentives resolve PSG 2.1 and CA 2.3 by involving customers in decision-making and demanding a viable resourcing plan. In year 3, by deploying circular water treatment pilots at the highest consuming properties, we resolve ESC 2.3 through the water stewardship strategy that emphasizes a circular water management approach to limit water use within the sustainable thresholds. In year 5, by scaling our smart water loop across the portfolio, and AndCo resolves ESC 4.2 through continuously progressing its environmental strategy and evaluating its long-term effectiveness. Overall, our solutions tailor-made to AndCo's problems aim to secure annual savings of 13.85 million gallons operationally, 180,000 financially, and compliance to the new B-Lab version 2.2 standards, which means that foundation risk assessments have been met and ESC has been achieved. So what do you say? Are you ready to make a change with us?
Perfect timing too. Excellent. Congratulations, team. You are done with your presentation, and I'm going to open the floor to our judges for a question.
Yeah, I have one. Thank you so much for this great presentation. I love all the connections to the environmental stewardship and circularity impact topic. Did you also see sort of connections to other impact topics or ways that this work could also help AndCo's certification overall?
Wait, I'm sorry, could you repeat your question?
Yeah, for sure. I was asking if I love all the connections to the environmental stewardship and circularity impact topic, the ESC, but was curious if any of the other impact topics came up in your research and in this solution. Okay, that's a lot for the ESC, but was just curious.
Could you give us around maybe 20 seconds to gather our thoughts? Thank you.
All right, maybe I can answer your question. So besides for the IoT water intelligence, beside the ESC, it also focuses on the executive and managerial responsibility and also things related to reporting. And for the circular water treatment, it was also very important for this to be here for us to ensure the stakeholder health, and more importantly, to align from year 0, year 3, and year 5 to reach the end goal. And last but not least would be our green incentive. It also focuses to let our customers be involved in the decision-making process and also have some responsible marketing and public relations element inside this. Thank you.
Amazing. Thank you so much. Love the stakeholder governance aspects too.
Thank you, Carson, for your question and the team for the presentation. So now you can relax and listen to our next team. I'm calling to the stage to Team 4, Great Falls Consulting Teams from the University of Maryland. And let me know when you are ready. It's coming. It's coming, it's coming. It's still black on my end. Perfect. Are you guys ready?
Yes.
Perfect.
Hi, thank you for the opportunity to present our recommendation for AndCo Hospitality. My name is Ashley Chavez,
My name is Alexander Trent.
and we are Great Falls Consulting Team. So let's start with the big picture. As the highest scoring B Corp hotel group in the US, AndCo has already shown strong leadership in sustainability. But water consumption is a major operational challenge, especially in water-stressed regions like Florida. Our recommendation is a data-driven water stewardship system that helps AndCo better measure, analyze, and influence water use across its hotels. By combining ultrasonic flow meters, the HWCI framework, and guest engagement strategies, AndCo can track water use, detect leaks earlier, and optimize operations. This approach helps AndCo move closer to its goal of reducing water consumption by 25% while maintaining a great guest experience.
Hotels use a lot of water daily in many operational areas, yet most properties only track total consumption rather than where the water is being used. Without system-level visibility, leaks and any inefficiencies may remain hidden, and sustainability investments become harder to prioritize.
This challenge is also driven by broader industry trends. Many external pressures make water stewardship important for hospitality companies. Regulations around water usage and utility costs continue to rise, and travelers are choosing sustainable brands now more than ever. At the same time, environmental pressures like climate change, which we can see already, and water scarcity are increasing the need for conservation.
Our solution focuses on three key components. First, measuring the water consumption. Secondly, analyzing that data. And third, engaging guests and encouraging more sustainable water use. Together, all these components create a closed-loop sustainability system. We found the best non-intrusive, low-maintenance measurement system to be the ultrasonic flow meters from Flexum. Depending on the configuration, the estimated cost is roughly $470,000 across all AndCo properties. By implementing 3 of each of these models, we can analyze the water consumption and build a custom plan to increase conscious water usage for each property, leading to a ROI of a little over 2 years.
So once the water data is captured, the next step is analysis. The Hotel Water Consumption Index compares a hotel's actual water consumption to its minimum achievable consumption, which represents the lowest realistic level of water use achievable with efficient systems and best practices.
Technology and analytics alone are not enough. Guest behaviors also play a key role in water consumption. We recommend using AndCo's existing reward platform to introduce behavioral nudges that encourage water conservation, like sustainability rewards and guest participation challenges. Beyond operational improvements, this initiative also creates a strong brand and digital opportunity for AndCo. By communicating measurable water savings and sustainability efforts through its website, booking platforms, and loyalty programs, AndCo can strengthen its brand as a leader in responsible hospitality and appeal to environmentally conscious travelers.
So this strategy aligns with the new B Corp standards, which focus on measurable environmental performance and ongoing improvement. With live monitoring and the HWCI analysis, AndCo can track and report water reduction, helping support future B Corp certification while maintaining its rank as one of the highest scoring B Corps. AndCo is already a leader in the hospitality industry, but reaching its water reduction goals is going to require a lot more data-driven approach. By installing flow meters, applying the HWCI framework, and engaging guests through incentives, AndCo can better understand and manage water use across its properties, all without compromising the guest experience. Thank you so much.
Perfect. You didn't use all the time. Excellent. Thank you, team. Can I open the floor to our judges for a question?
Yeah, I have a quick question. So I'm curious about with the meters in terms of having the data is obviously important, but how does it actually kind of lowering usage? Is there something about knowing that number that is going to change what the guest is doing? Is it going to change something about the way that the hotel is run? I guess I want to understand how that reduction is translated.
Okay, I can take that question. So once we like have the numbers, right, from the meters, right, we can understand the leaks. Obviously, when you build a building, right, you and Anko only has kind of like the inlet valve to understand to see the whole like water usage, right, from the whole building, not kind of like the sub metering, right, from let's say the room wings, like the north wing, the west wing, east wing, right, or kind of like the kitchen, laundry room, and facilities and other facilities having meters, right, allows AndCo to understand how much water is actually being used in those specific sections at any point of time. And also it might be able to identify leaks. And when AndCo has that number, they can implement more specific strategies with again, they already installed the low flow faucet, right? But if there's more like a better solution, right, when they have that data, they're able to again use that data, know if there's a leak, if there's any possibilities to improve it, and then implement a solution.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Summer, for your question and the team for the response. I'm going to be calling now Team 5, What's Next from Pepperdine University. They're my neighbors down the road in beautiful Malibu. And I know the instructor, Professor Robert Binkel, is also here. So thank you. And let me know when you guys are ready for the timer. Ready?
All right, I think we're good. Go.
Excellent. Good luck.
Good morning to our esteemed judges. My name is Trevor Green.
I'm Lauren.
I'm William Leonard.
Hi, I'm Ashi Patel.
And we are Team What's Next here to go over our energy innovation recommendations today. So, to get started, the current problem is AndCo's current spending of $180,000 a year on RECs and offsets will no longer satisfy the newly updated B Corp standards, and our recommendations will hit the 40% energy savings goal and maintain B Corp status for AndCo, excuse me. And so for our first recommendation, we would like to recommend occupancy-based HVAC management systems. This would include installing either smart thermostats or occupancy sensors in all existing rooms to reduce AC usage in empty rooms. This would cost about $150 to $300 per room and focuses primarily on CA subsection 1 through 3. Now I will pass it off to Lauren.
Okay, thank you, Trevor. So the single most overlooked energy lever in hospitality isn't on the roof. It's in the housekeeping cart. Hotel rooms sit empty for an average of 12 hours every day. And during that time, the AC is running, the TV is on standby, and the lights are on. That's not a technology problem, it's a behavior problem, and it has a behavior solution. So the Department of Energy modeled this directly. Temperature setbacks and powering off equipment in unoccupied rooms produces 8 to 25% in additional energy savings across hotel properties. And so for AndCo's portfolio, that's between $70,000 and $130,000 per year. And 4 things to remember: close the drapes, power off the TV, cut the lights, and set the thermostat to step back. Now I'll pass it off to Will to talk about cooling strategy.
All right, jumping into our passive cooling strategy, we plan to combat that high energy usage from AC in those summer seasons. And we plan to do that by using a nano ceramic window tinting that'll block about 80% of the solar heat gain and even extend the life of our HVAC systems. We plan to start by targeting Palm Coast and Brigantine, as they do have those highest summer surges. And then going into our thermal integrity, understanding that we plan to combat that high energy usage from heating in the winter seasons by using weather sealing or insulation audits. And pretty much we would like to reduce that monthly EUI and reduce fuel consumption as well. We plan to target Steamboat and Reno, as Steamboat has the highest EUI and Reno has that dual benefit in the winter and the summer as well. Both the cooling strategies and our thermal integrity target CA 1 through 3, as mentioned earlier, and I'll go ahead and pass that to Ashi for our more ambitious recommendations.
All right, thank you. So while solar is our last resort, it is essential for all viable locations to reach 40% target and cut grid reliance by up to 70%. This shift will fulfill the CA1 and CA2 standards for direct action. While documented in REC phase-out plan, it will satisfy the CA3 requirements. So to eliminate nighttime dependency, we must integrate a battery storage and pursue the Playa Viva goal. Playa Viva is essentially a hotel in Mexico that's 100% off-grid. And redirecting our $15,000 monthly offset spend, we can transform a permanent expense into a high-performing asset with a 2 to 3 year ROI. And now I'm going to pass it back to Trevor.
So, in order to hit our 40% energy reduction target and maintain B Corp status, we would recommend to install building insulation, occupancy sensors, implement a behavior policy, and install battery and solar panels. Thank you. Any questions?
Excellent with the time too. You had 20 seconds left. Yeah. So opening to the judges. Any question for what's next?
Hi, I'll ask a question. Thank you for presenting. This was great. One question. For the behavioral policies, we do have SOPs in place for our housekeepers. Every time after they leave the room, they set the temperature up to a certain degree, and when they're leaving. But did you see any research of, even though those kind of SOPs are in place, like they don't always happen at hotels, or there should be like another extra measure in place to make sure it's actually followed through?
Yeah, for sure. So with that, it does happen often. I think it is also human nature. Sometimes people forget. So internal training, with the staff, and we do know that you guys already have incentives, for them and like other training stuff, but I think maybe just like reiterating on those and maybe in the beginning every month have like a training session, but like once you see actual benefits, you can probably push it back to once every year, once every like 6 months or something like that.
Cool. And then were there any sensors that you found that works the best? Because we have tried those in the past as well, but some are not as efficient as the others.
Yeah, so that's definitely a very big problem. One of the things for sensors too is whether you want to pay the monthly fee for a software as well, or you just want the base model sensor. The one that we found was Verdant or Verdant, Vrdant. We like those. They are on the more expensive side and also have the software. If you want the less expensive side, I would suggest looking into SensorFlow and alternatives like that. Yeah.
Thank you, Megan, and thank you, What's Next, for your presentation and answers. I'm going to invite now our final team, Natchworks Consulting from the University of Maryland, to share the screen. And when the screen is up, are you guys ready?
You guys.
Time is on.
Okay. Picture this. AndCo's president is standing at his office window, looking out over a resort pool and noticing a paradox. The very things guests love most, the lush landscaping, the fresh linens, and the pool, are also the biggest drains of sustainability. That tension is exactly the problem we were asked to solve. AndCo just recertified as a B Corp at 133 points, marking them as a leader in the sustainability industry. But now efficiency gains are starting to level off. And with major investments already made in solar, energy star appliances, and low store fixture rates, the next opportunity isn't in hardware, it's in behavior. We found 3 key gaps. First, current tools raise awareness, but they're not changing. Second, Ms. Dorsey pointed out that too many incentives can actually create fatigue rather than lasting change. And third, AndCo isn't tracking which touchpoints work or how many guests are even opting in the carbon offset. Operational activities, especially laundry, HVAC, and food services, are the primary drivers of hotel resource consumption, and much of that is shaped by behavior AndCo has already optimized in buildings. Now, the opportunity lies in what 400,000 guests and hundreds of staff choose to do every single day. Our framework is very simple: sustainable by default. The first pillar changes the default, what happens if no action is taken. The second pillar builds sustainability into how guests and staff see themselves.
There's 2 principles from behavioral science that guides our approach. First is the default effect. Research by Johnson and others shows that people tend to stick with pre-selected options simply because switching takes effort. Opt-out systems, by that case, can drive 3 to 5 times higher participation than just relying on opt-in. Second, descriptive social norms. Goldstein and colleagues tested that in hotels using towel reuse, they found that telling guests what others in the same room have done increased participation by 26%, outperforming generic messaging like "put the towels away." Now, here's how that comes to life. Housekeeping shifts to opt out after the first night. Guests can still request it, but now the default does the work. In similar programs, this has reduced resource use by 15 to 25% per room night, cutting labor, wattage, and chemicals usage. This carbon offset follows the same logic. It is also switched to opt out. A simple pre-arrival screen also is there to capture preferences, giving AndCo valuable new data. And in-room messaging shifts from generic to specific. For example, 8 in 10 guests at this property last week skipped housekeeping. The second pillar addresses incentive fatigue by focusing primarily on identity. When someone sees themselves as a sustainable guest, they're more likely to stay consistent. Badges can be layered into our existing platform of guestwork using existing systems with minimal added costs. And for staff, peer nominations replace raffles with recognition tied to progress and learning ladder because according to our behavioral science, intrinsic rewards are always more powerful than extrinsic. Now, how does our proposal connect to B Corp standards? Each element maps directly to 2025 version 2.1 requirement, and with the adoption of Ecolytics, AndCo can now track behavioral data much more consistently at year 0, 3, and 5. What makes this plan especially powerful is how quickly it can scale. Phase 1 launches within weeks at near zero cost, just by changing our defaults that we already have, but making them more sustainable. And by month 6, AndCo is capturing guest data it has never had before. Phase 2 builds out the digital layer, and the Phase 3 refines the system based on what the data reveals. There are 3 things to track: guest behavior, staff engagement, and environmental cost per room night. All of these align directly with the targets AndCo has already set, and consider the scale. Even a 10% shift across 8 properties, 400,000 gates, translates into tens of thousands of choices, compounding year after year. So back to the paradox. The pools, the linens, the landscaping, they aren't problems to eliminate. They're the canvas. Sustainable by default means guests never should have to choose between comfort and conservation. It should just happen. We're Nudgeworth Consultings. We thank you.
Excellent. Well done. And let me invite the judges for a question. Any question, judges?
Yeah, I have one.
Thank you, Alex.
In your research, we've been finding this balance between like vacation shaming and almost lecturing of what you should do to our guests, right? We want them to enjoy and have a great time. Did you find anything on that the guests actually like to be almost educated on this as opposed to not educated, or any readings or research?
Yeah, something we realize is that people want to be sustainable, but the thing is the existing problem thing we have is like they have to actively go out to be sustainable. What we're deciding here is we make sustainable the default. That means we make it already the system opt out for carbon offset as well as housekeeping, which saves tons of pressure on different people in order to be if they want to be sustainable. And we have something that makes this long term by adding badges. We've seen this work with like TripAdvisor, even though like you don't get any points or like money for making reviews for different restaurants, you have this badge of a top reviewer. And because of that, that creates this long-lasting sustainability that isn't really transferable because by like another hotel offering better points or another hotel offering better benefits, we make it a lot more like an intrinsic motivation, as we said earlier.
Great. Makes sense.
Thank you.
Excellent. Thank you, Alice, for that question. And let's just pause for a second and congratulate all the teams, because what a powerful analysis, connection with the literature, actionable ideas. So again, I want to start by saying thank you. And I want to repeat that I'm so glad that I'm not the judge in this round, because it's going to be a tough conversation. So what we are proposing to do now, if I can quickly share, is actually, and we decided to add this last minute, if I go into the slideshow, is actually ask everyone in the room to vote for a new price category that we decided to create. And that's for you to vote for what we are going to call the crowd favorite. So please, if you can just take a second, get your phones, everyone is invited to vote. Faculty, staff, students, you can, of course, vote for yourself. If you think still after hearing the other 5 teams, you're the best one, And once you guys have done that, just give me a thumbs up. I'll leave it for 30 more seconds. Thank you, guys. I'm so impressed. Everyone has had an opportunity to vote. So let me explain how we are organizing the next 10 minutes. We are going to be opening the rooms and we're going to be asking, please do not join room number 1. That's where our judges are going to go in. And they, using the rubric that you are very familiar, they're going to be scoring the teams for that first prize, second prize, and third prize. And now we have the fortune to also have an additional award for the crowd favorite. Once you get into the room with some strangers, we just want you to have fun. And we just put a few icebreakers there, but of course it's free flow. You can do whatever you want in the rooms. Just be nice to each other, but maybe introduce yourself. Maybe reflect, right? If you were to go back to the first day of the semester or when you started with this project, what would be the piece of advice? And we were very curious if you guys have a favorite B Corp, if you want to share that with people in the room. It will be 10 minutes. If we are not done in 10 minutes, we might extend it a couple of minutes. So just, be a little bit patient. Again, it's going to be very hard, I think, for the judges, but that's what we are doing next. So after 10 minutes or maybe 10, 12 minutes, we'll close the rooms and bring you back to the main room to announce the winners. And thank you, Rachel, for doing and controlling all the rooms. So I'm going to get out of sharing. So you should be able to join the rooms. Are we all good? And I should be seeing you leaving. And I know we have a few guests. If you just want to join a room with the students, I'll learn from them. I'm thinking of Terry. I don't know if John Spain is here too. So please feel free to join. And
I don't think I see the option to join a breakout room on my end.
There should be like a 3 dots at the bottom of your screen.
Oh, I see it now. Okay, thank you.
Yep.
welcome, everyone. Is everyone back? This is a great moment. I see most of the faces. I think everyone is back. Before we go and announce the final winners, I want to say happy B Corp birthday to AndCo. It's been 7 years today that they got the first certification. So honestly, it's like we planned for this, right? We're in a special moment. So thank you, Alice and Megan, for sharing that. And again, congratulations for that B Corp journey. Are you guys ready? Ding, 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 big moment. Oops, sorry, I have too many screens. So we are ready to introduce the winners of our first B Academics B Corp case competition. And as I anticipated, it was very, very hard because the scores were very, very, very close. So well, you hear. Are you guys ready for the first one? So let's start with the winner of the crowd award, crowd's favorite. Are you guys ready? Drum roll. Dun, 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 dun. And the winner for the crowd favorite award is Teen Awesome Sauce from Berkeley, UC Berkeley. Where are you guys? Congratulations to our team too. Very, very well done. And thank you everyone that took the time to vote. Are you guys ready for the second one? We actually have an honorable mention because it was so tight that we decided to add this. Ready? Drum roll. I'm so bad with that. This is the winner of our honorable mention, Team 5. What's next from Pepperdine University? Congratulations. Professor Robert Binkel, you're here. What a fantastic team. So thank you. Thank you and congrats to the team. And my former student that is part of the Pepperdine team. What a coincidence. So are you guys ready for number 3? Drum roll. You guys are too quiet. Make some noise. Dun, 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 dun. Third place with $200 to be decided, University of Malaya and Sunway University. You guys are third place. Congratulations and thank you for joining us from the distance, whatever time it is. We appreciate you. Very exciting. Great presentation. Ready for number 2? I'm even nervous, and I know, but let's go to the second place. Team 6, Network Consulting from University of Maryland. Congratulations, Team 6. I don't see you. Where are you guys? But really well done. Oh, yeah, there. Now I see. Nice ties. Is that your university brand color? That red?
Yeah,
You guys
that's what we were going for.
Yep.
excellent.
Go Terps, go Terps.
Very good. Congrats. Okay, now we are going into, and I just see one of my students get into the room. First place. Are you guys ready? Drum roll, let's go! Team 2, Team Awesome Sauce from UC Berkeley. You are also the winners. First place of our inaugural B Corp competition, $500 for the team. So congratulations. And what is the team? I want to see some faces. Any quick comment from our winners?
Yeah, thank you so much, guys. AndCo and B Corp for hosting this. Really excited, really grateful for the opportunity. And yeah, thank you so much for my team too.
Excellent. Well, thank you and congratulations to all the winning teams. Again, if you were not one of the 4 teams recognized, 5 teams recognized, please, no, 4 teams, because awesome, you get two of the prizes, but know that you are all winners because it was very, very competitive just to get to today. So thank you so much for participating. We love you guys. Please. Yes.
Before everybody leaves, I did want to just take a quick moment to say thank you to Maria, who's been our fearless leader in developing this idea, putting it together, helping write the case, organizing so much, and doing so much behind the scenes. So thank you, Maria. We couldn't have done this without you. And congratulations to all the teams. We're really happy you participated. We're really impressed. If you are a winning team, if you could stay on so that we can take some photos, that would be great.
Yeah, and I have a final request. Thank you, Summer, for the shout out. But again, it is a large team that was behind all this, so I could have not done it. I had the idea, but then, again, it's all about the execution. So thank you for all the professors that believe on this from the beginning, our mentors, and all of you and the organizing teams, and of course, the judges and AndCo for, again, saying yes to something that still didn't have any shape when we first talked. So thank you, thank you, thank you. I have a final request, if this is possible, which is basically, again, get your phones, and it's a 2-minute survey, because we will love to hear a little bit of feedback, what worked, what didn't work. You have any suggestions for B Corp for next year? We are going to start planning literally maybe next week. And again, your inputs are really, really welcome and appreciated. So thank you, everyone. And we hope to see you next year. Please help us to spread the word. Now you are our ambassadors in your universities. So hopefully we can get more teams next year from your universities. But thank you, everyone. And have a great day, a weekend or night, wherever in the world you are. Thank you, guys. Been a pleasure.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Great one.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Good job, guys. Amazing work. Good night. God bless.
Thank you. let me stop sharing so I can see everyone's faces and we can quickly connect. Because Rachel, hold on. I see
I think
Alex.
yeah, so if we can at least get Team Awesome Sauce a photo with you guys, and Team To Be Decided was third place. Who was the second place team? I already forgot. I think they left already.
Yeah, they left. Yeah, the picture. We'll screenshot them.
Okay, no worries. Team Awesome Sauce and To Be Decided, I'm gonna pin you guys so that I can take a photo specifically. Let me see.
Sorry, do you mind if our last team member returns? I think she just accidentally left.
Yeah,
Same
no
for us.
worries.
Thank you so
We
much.
can wait. Yeah, we can wait.
And
Add a
Alex, are you still here or you want me to, I can